This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. You can't beat a bit of good old southern rock, can you? It's, in many ways, the ultimate feel-good music, I think. It's seldom, if ever, ponderous or pretentious or overly introspective. It just gets on with the job of making you feel good. You know, if you have a rough day, then stick some music like that on. That was the solo, by the way, from Lynyrd Skynyrd's Gimme 3 Steps. Stick something like that on, or maybe a little bit of blackberry smoke or anything of that ilk, and suddenly you kind of realise that you're tapping your foot and smiling, which is always a great tonic, isn't it? Anyway, as I say, that was the solo from Gimme 3 Steps by Lynyrd Skynyrd. I've had quite a few requests to take a look at that solo, so I thought I'd get round to it today. You've heard what it sounds like, or my attempt at it anyway. Now let's have a little bit of a look at what's going on in the solo.
Solo explanation.
Okay then, a quick look at what's going on in this solo. It's actually quite simple, and I think that is part of its appeal, really. Briefly, the chords that we're playing over were in the key of D major with one borrowed chord. We'll talk about that in a moment. And we're at roughly 130-ish beats per minute. The chord sequence goes like this. So we've got 2 bars of D, 2 bars of A, 2 bars of D again, then the aforementioned borrowed chord, an E major, taking us to the A, acting kind of like a secondary dominant chord. Then back to the D for 2 bars, then to a G, then onto that E chord again, and then 2 bars of D, a bar of A, and then back to D to finish on. And then essentially that takes you to the point where the solo cycle is complete, and then the song starts to fade out with pretty much the same solo happening once again as the song circles the drain, basically. So we start in a rather obvious place, D major pentatonic up here. There we go, D major. Also obviously known as B minor pentatonic, and there is a lot of this kind of thing, this kind of, I think of it as a country double stop bend, that kind of thing going on throughout this solo. You're essentially bending this note here, this E note, up to the F sharp, which is the 3rd of the D major chord, and the hanging that together with the A note here, which is the 5th, so you're getting lots of that kind of stuff happening at various points throughout the solo. And then when the chords change, it's interesting what happens, which is basically we just kind of take that same shape down to, well, in the first case, when we go to the first A chord, we bring it down here for an A major pentatonic, and putting that little minor to major 3rd kind of blues moving. There's the C note, onto the C sharp, the minor 3rd of the A, going to the major 3rd. Then we're back to the D chord, and we're back into more of this sort of stuff. That kind of stuff there. I forget the actual lick. There's a few different variations on that lick throughout there, but I get the feeling that it's not an exact science. It's just, you know, kind of get back into the D position and do some of that kind of stuff. The next major structural moment we have in the solo is where we hit that E chord, and we play like this little kind of blues run here. There we go. So essentially, take this note out of it, and we've got this here, which is just straight up E major pentatonic. E, G sharp, B, C sharp and E. But of course we put that little minor to major third kind of thing in there as well. There's the minor third. And the basis of many a, a million miles away there from Day Tripper, are you? So, and then of course we settle on the A chord. There is something rhythmically happening here that I'm going to talk about in a moment that kind of drives the solo along, and then we play this little kind of almost Chuck Berry kind of double stop sort of thing here, just coming out the top end of the A chord. So then back up to here again for some more of this. And then at this point we hit the G chord and then kind of walk down to the E, where we've got that kind of thing. And literally all he does here is do a little chromatic run starting at the 5th fret. That's where I played it anyway. The 5th fret on the 4th string. You could do it all just walking down the same string. That takes you further away from this kind of thing here that we're going back to after that, so I chose to sort of and then we're back down here again for the A chord, playing this little kind of root and third double stop here on the A chord. And then walk down to the D chord, to the root note of the D chord there to finish on. So that takes you to the end of the solo. Brilliantly simple. But as I said, there's this rhythmic thing that's going on here as well, which is very, very important, I think, in the feel of this solo. We're talking about the push. And now what that is, in numerous places throughout the solo, we're kind of accenting half a beat early. So what I mean by that is a good example is this double stop here that we come out on that A chord. It happens roughly halfway through the bar. Now if it was exactly halfway through the bar, it would be happening on beat 3, 1 and 2 and 3. But what he does is he goes 1 and 2 and, like that, so you're hitting it half a beat early. We've got a lot of chord changes happening there as well. So for instance the G to the E, like that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, so coming in half a beat early with an accent on the chord change, and of course that applies to the licks that go over the top of it. So for example that one there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, so we're hitting the note which is associated with that chord there. The lick is syncopated because that's what we're doing here, in the same way as the chord change, and it just gives the whole thing something of a little bit more momentum and drive to kind of push on through, which is I suppose why it's called a push. So that rhythmic element there is a great way of injecting any solo with just that little bit more of a feeling of urgency. So it's a good little trick to have in the toolbox, really. But anyway, there you go. That's what's going on with the Gary Rossington solo from Lynyrd Skynyrd's Gimme 3 Steps. Now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And as always, you'll find a full tab in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing the solo, that explanation you've just seen there, and a backing track to play along with yourself. All of that is, as always, up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description, as I'm sure you know by now. $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. I want to say a massive, massive thank you to each and every one of you who support me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are, where, linked down in the description. And that's pretty much it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the video and found it useful and informative and hopefully a little bit entertaining. And if that's the case, why not hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And you might as well drop me a like while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time. We drink beer and talk about music and guitars and all other manner of things. Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.